Okay, so we're going to be learning about sharing ratio, so splitting a number into a ratio that is given to us. So let's have a look at these questions. So if you could just pause this video and have a go at these. These are simplifying ratios, so you're trying to make your ratio in writing it in its simplest form. Right, so let's go through these answers. So for question 1, you would have had 2 to 3 as your simplest form. Question 2, 3 to 16. Question 3, 3 to 2 to 5. And then question 4 would have been 1 to 2. For question, the extension 1, the equivalent in road distance, the answer would have been 22.5 kilometers. Now let's have a look at these equivalent ratios. So you're trying to find the missing equivalent ratio. So the way that I would write this to make it to help is the one that they give you at fullest, I would write the equaling one underneath it. So it'd be 12 to something. And then this one would be 4 to 9 is something to 27. This one's the other way around. So this one would be 16 to 14. And this one is 3 to something. Okay, so what we have to do is find how do you get from the ones that you know, so 3, how do you get from 3 to 12? Whatever you do, you have to do to the other side. How do you get from 9 to 27? This is the other way around, so how would you get from 14 to 7? And then how would you get from 2 to 3? And then do it to the side. And this part here we have to match. So we have to match our cards, so those are equivalent. So pause this video and have a go at these questions. Okay, so for A, we would have multiplied both sides by 4, so we would have had an answer of 20. This one we're multiplying both sides by 3, so we would have had an answer of 12. Here we're dividing it by 2, 14 divided by 2 gives us 7, so 16 divided by 2 gives us 8. And here we are multiplying by 1.5, giving us an answer of 3 to 4 to 5. Okay, then here I'm going to write numbers. So your 3/4, so number 1 would have matched with your 15/20, so that's another number 1. Your 10/5 would have matched with your 2 to 1. Your 50/100 would have matched with your 1 to 2. And then finally, 15 to 6 would have matched with your 5 to 2. So sharing ratio. So if you copy this example into your book and work through it with me. So Mr. Persuade, Mr. Hernandez and Mr. Sadiq rob a bank and get away with £420. They share the money in the ratio of 1 to 2 to 4. Work out each person's share. So we have Mr. Persuade, Mr. Hernandez and Mr. Sadiq. And let's draw those boxes to make sure that it makes it a bit easier. So Mr. Persuade gets 1 share, Mr. Hernandez gets 2 shares, and Mr. Sadiq gets 4 shares. Okay, now remember what we had to do when we were sharing. So first thing we have to do is add our ratios. So we have to do 1 plus 2 plus 4, which gives us an answer of 7. Okay, so in total, there are 7 shares. So what we have to do is find how much each of our boxes is worth. So we know that our total at the moment is 420. Okay, we have to now divide it by 7. So 420 divided by 7 gives us an answer of 60. So that means that each box is represented £60. So then when we have to find out how much each get individually, what we have to do is then add them up. So Mr. Persuade only gets 1 share, so he gets 60. Mr. Hernandez gets 2 shares, so we have to times it by 2, so he gets 120. So we've got Mr. Persuade, we've got Mr. Hernandez, and then we have Mr. Sadiq, who gets, I'm not too sure what's happening here, who gets 4 times 60, which is 240. Now you have a go at this one. Remember, you have to add up your ratios, divide it into how many is your total, and then multiply it by how many are in your bars. So first of all, we've got Johnny shares a chocolate bar that has 24 pieces with Tanvir and Joe. So Johnny, Tanvir and Joe. They share the bar in a ratio of 3 to 1 to 2. So we've got 3 bars to 1 bar to 2 bars. Work out each person's share. So there's a total of 6 shares because we have done 3 plus 1 plus 2, which gives us 6. We know our total at the moment is 24, so we have to do 24 divided by 6, which gives us an answer of 4. That means that each bar represents 4. And how much they individually get? Well, what we have to do then is multiply 4 by the number of bars that they get. So Johnny gets 3 times 4, Tanvi gets 1 times 4, and Joe gets 2 times 4. So it would be 12 to 4 to 8. Okay, so that's how you'd write it in a ratio. So we've got Johnny to Tanvir to Joe. Okay, pause this video and have a look at these questions. So you're sharing £250 into 4 different ratios. Okay, so remember the first thing you have to do is add your ratios. So add ratios and then divide into original amount. Okay, have a go at those. Right, let's go for these answers. So if we were sharing £250 in 1 to 4, so we've got 1 square to 4 squares. So we have to add our ratios first. So 1 plus 4 gives us 5. Then we have to do 250 divided by 5, which gives us an answer of 50. So that means that each box is worth £50. So then the first person will get 1 share of 50, which is 50. And the second person will get 4 shares of 50, which is 200. So it'd be 50 to 200. B, so we're sharing 2 to 3. So it would be 2 squares to 3 squares. So first of all, we add our ratio. So 2 plus 3 gives us 5. And we do 250 divided by 5, which gives us an answer of 50. That means that each box gives us 50. So for the first one, it will be 50 times by 2, which is 100. And the second one will be 50 times by 3, which gives us 150. So it'd be 100 to 150. This one, so we've got 7 boxes. To 3 boxes. Okay, so we have to do 7 plus 3 gives us an answer of 10. We have to do 250 divided by 10, which gives us an answer of 25. And then, so each box is worth 25. So we have to do 7 times by 25, because there's 7 of them. That's 175. And then 3 times by 25, which gives us an answer of 75. And finally, we've got a 9 to 12 to 4. So we do 9 plus 12 plus 4, which gives us an answer of 25. So we have to do 250 divided by 25, which gives us an answer of 10. And then we just have to multiply it. So 10 times by 9 gives us 90. 10 times by 12 gives us 120. And then 10 times by 4 gives us an answer of 40. Question 2. Share £80 between Tom and Jerry in the ratio of 3 to 2. So Tom and Jerry in a ratio of 3 to 2. So first of all, we have to do 3 plus 2, which gives an answer of 5. Okay, then we do 80 divided by 5, which gives us an answer of 16. So we've got 3 to 2. So each box is now worth 16. So now we have to do 16 times by 3, which gives us an answer of 48. And then 16 times by 2, which gives us an answer of £32. So £48 to £32.